Yes, it says, my lords, the said object would be achieved if the disqualification incurred on the ground of voting or abstaining from voting by a member is confined to cases where a change of government is likely to be brought about or is prevented, as the case may be, as a result of such voting or abstinence, or where some voting or abstinence is a matter which was a major policy and program on which the political party to which the member belongs went to the polls. For this purpose, direction given by the political party to a member belonging to it, the violation of which may entail disqualification thereto, would have to be limited to a vote on a motion of confidence and no confidence in the government, or where the motion under consideration relates to a matter which was an integral policy and program of the political party, on the basis of which it approached the elect. Now let us kindly come to 176. It is humbly submitted that the interpretation sought by the respondents is accepted. If the interpretation sought by suspected, the same would result in a far-reaching consequences and would destabilize the framework of the party system by taking away the powers assigned to a political party to prevent defections within. This reading would negate the meaning ascribed to 2(1)(b) of the 10th schedule, as well as defeat the entire purpose of insertion of the 10th schedule to curb the menace of defection. The entire edifice of our parliamentary democracy is based on a party system. A candidate is chosen by the electorate on the symbol of the political party. The legislature or the legislature party is only a product of the political party. My Lord, the Chief Justice just articulated that earlier. The legislature party is the species and the political party the genus. There is an umbilical cord which links the political party and the legislature party. The actions of that umbilical cord cannot be out of line with the objective of the political party. In Kyoto, this court said the following. Well, this is important. But a political party functions on the strength of shared beliefs. Its own political stability and social utility depends on such shared beliefs and concerted action of its members in furtherance of those commonly held principles. Any freedom of its members to vote as they please, independent of the political party's declared policies, will not only embarrass its public image and popularity, but also undermine public confidence in it, which in the ultimate analysis is the source of sustenance. Nay, indeed, its very survival. Intra-party debates are, of course, a different thing, but a public image of disparate stands by members of the same political party is not looked upon in political tradition as a desirable state of things. Loyalty to party is a norm being based on shared beliefs. A divided party is looked on with suspicion by the electorate. It is natural for members to accept the opinion of their leaders and spokesmen on the wide variety of matters on which those members have no specialist knowledge. Generally, members will accept majority decisions in the party, even when they disagree. It is understandable, therefore, that a member who rejects the party whip, even on a single occasion, will attract attention and more criticism than sympathy. To abstain from voting when required by party to vote is to suggest a degree of unreliability. To vote against party is disloyalty. To join with others in abstention or voting with the other side smacks of conspiracy. That's exactly what happened here. And it started on the 21st of June. Clause B of para 2(1) of the 10th schedule gives effect to the principle and sentiment by imposing a disqualification on a member who votes or abstains from voting contrary to any directions. The provisions, however, recognize two exceptions. One, when the member abstains from the political party prior permission to vote or abstain from voting, and the other, when the member has voted without obtaining such permission, but his action has been condoned by the political party. This provision itself accommodates the possibility that there may be occasions when a member may vote or abstain from voting contrary to the directions of the party belongs. This in itself again may provide a clue to the proper understanding and construction of the expression any direction in clause B of paragraph 2(1), whether really all directions or whips from the party entail the statutory consequence, and whether having regard to the extraordinary nature and sweep of the power, the very serious consequences that flow, including the extreme penalty of disqualification, the expression should be given a meaning confining its operation to the context indicated by the objects and purposes of the 10th schedule. We shall deal with this aspect separately. It is thus submitted that it is the political party which appoints the chief whip and not the legislative party, The political party is headed by the leadership, and this factum of leadership is not in dispute. Organizational elections in Shiv Sena were held on 27/2/2018. Well, that's a wrong date, actually, it's 23rd January 2018. And the leadership structure of the party was intimated to ECI, wherein it is clearly stated that Uddhav Thackeray is the Paksh Pramukh. It may not be out of place that under the Maharashtra legislative members' removal of disqualification rules, which I've read.
Already shown.
So, Malad, I'll skip that. The whips are the directions issued by the political party and not the members of the legislative party or the leaders of the legislature. Then Erskine May says, whip serves as an intermediate between the leaders and parliamentary membership of their parties in order to keep each informed of the views of the other, which is what I was mentioning to your lordships. The phrase adopted by Burke caught public fancy and soon became popular. Then let us kindly come to 183, skip the 5-6 lines on top, and the sentence on the right side, they keep members supplied with information. They were talking about whips. Joseph has that. They keep members supplied with information about the business of the house. What happens, traditionally is, the members do not know the business of the house because the business of the house is decided by what is called the Business Advisory Committee. And only some members of the house of political parties are members of that committee. So every week, couple of times, every week, a meeting takes place as to what should be the business for the next week. So that's decided and then it is announced in the house. On that basis, the whip then informs the members of the house that this is going to be the business. These are the bills that are to be debated. This is the position that we have to take on the bills. Therefore, you please prepare your speeches in the context of the position of the party. That's the job of the whip. Now, it's not that. That is not the job of somebody who says, I am a group leader and I will decide. That is why the whip is appointed by the political party, for that very reason.
On general parliamentary business, how specific are the whips? I mean, this is not unrelated to this case. I mean,
one of the WhatsApp message is sent to us. Three lines at the end. Underlining, otherwise you have to be present, otherwise action will be taken against. This is a whip. And you come and vote, and this is how you have to vote. A 3-line whip will come, vote for this bill, vote against this resolution. So each one under our WhatsApp, that message is sent. So we have to be present. They're very generous, because while we argue our cases, proceedings are going on, so we're not present. So they don't trouble us too much.
Special exemption 9 schedule. Special 9 schedule.
That holds for Mr. Jethmalani also, right?
Well, my personal opinion, this is my personal, I don't want to say it. The fact of the matter is, if you want to practice, you should practice. You want to be in Parliament, devote your time to Parliament. That should be. Otherwise, we can only perform one function, we can't perform both. Anyway, that's another matter. No, it's not that. It's what happens is that the key issues of the party are nowadays before the court. And they want us to be here. And slowly Mr. Jethmalani will realize as the burden increases that he might also have to do that.
Just one second aside about coming out of the halls of Parliament, a very leading left leader mentioned inside the house that lawyers, chartered accountants, doctors and other similar people should not be in Parliament. They should concentrate on their profession. Mr. Jaitley and I were talking in the lobbies once. So when he came out, a good friend of ours, we told him that you want Parliament only to consist of unemployed and unemployable persons.
Don't say that. Don't say that publicly.
This is what happened. He said it generally for a lot of us. He says, I'm taking his example. He said it for a large class of professionals, not lawyers alone. Yeah. So there is a certain amount of input you bring in if you are otherwise also gainfully employed.
That's true. But lawyers in many jurisdictions are not allowed to do both things. That's also true, but that's neither here nor there. That's whatever. The keep members supplied with information about the business of the House and enforce party discipline, being constantly in touch with the members in the lobbies of the House, the whips acting as intermediaries between the leaders and the rank and file of their parties, keep the former in touch with the currents of opinion, not only within their own party, and thereby nip the incipient revolt in the bud, but also to some extent with other movements of opinion inside the House. And it is through the whips that members of a party come to know about their leaders' views and the plans into which the leader thinks it is necessary or expedient to initiate them. The whips are the active agents within the parties, a channel of communication whereby one party negotiates with another concerning topics of debate or conduct of business in the House. In the handbook of the working of the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, the background of origin of whips is noted in this regard. It is stated that whips who are drawn from various political parties are vital links in the internal organization of parties inside the legislature. The expression whips is derived from the, we don't have to go into that. Then Riley comes the House of Commons Library. That also goes to Edmund Burke. We've already read that. Let's not waste our time on it. Then kindly see further, para 186. Further is elucidating the duties of the whip. It is stated as follows. The primary role of the chief whip is to get the government's business through Parliament, and in particular to secure the government's majority in votes on its legislative and policy programs. The duties of the whip include keeping MPs and peers informed of forthcoming parliamentary business, as I told your lordships, maintaining the party's voting strength by ensuring members attend important debates and support their party in parliamentary divisions, and passing on to the party leadership the opinions of backbench members.